On Sunday, a flight carrying 238 members of the infamous Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua landed in El Salvador, where they were immediately taken to a high security prison. But the deportation isn't just a routine handover. The US government is invoking a law from 1798 known as the Alien Enemies Act, rarely used in modern history, to bypass the courts and deport these gang members with lightning speed. The Trump administration calls it a critical measure to protect national security. President Trump, using the Alien Enemies Act, has justified these actions, labeling the Tren de Aragua gang as an invasion targeting the US. He argues the group's criminal activities pose an existential threat. The deportations took place despite a US federal judge granting a temporary suspension of the expulsions order. White House denied that the court order was not implemented, saying the plane had already left the United States by the time. Civil rights groups are now sounding the alarm, calling the use of this historic law to justify mass deportation and abuse of the power.
The Alien Enemies Act was enacted in 1798, and it's a wartime authority that can only be used when the United States is in a declared war with another nation or another nation is invading our country. It cannot be used against simply a gang. And notably, it's only been used three times in our country's history, all during declared wars: the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II.
With legal challenges already in place, the fight over the Alien Enemies Act could redefine the future course of US immigration policy. El Salvador President Nayib Bukele sent the alleged gang members to the country's maximum security terrorism confinement center, which is a mega prison southeast of capital San Salvador with a capacity for 40,000 prisoners. Aarti Rana for DD India.
Well, for more, we have Shubhendu Ghosh joining us on this. Well, Shubhendu, can you give us the details of what all has transpired and also tell us about the Trump administration's use of this Alien Enemies Act in this case, especially considering it hasn't been used in modern times, as civil rights groups are also now raising an alarm?
Good morning, Lipakshi. That's right. The crackdown by the Trump administration against illegal immigrants and criminals in the United States, transnational criminals, continues. Now, what made this episode dramatic was that it was no ordinary deportation. Over 200-year-old war act was invoked. The Aliens Enemies Act was invoked by President Trump to be able to deport over 200 members of the alleged members, I should say, because the criminality has not been proven. The evidence for the criminality has not been given. About over 200 members of this group, which is the Tren de Aragua, which belongs to Venezuela. They've been deported to El Salvador. Now we have to see that the invocation of this law helps Donald Trump bypass the legal process, and that is where the courts also came in. The courts challenged the invocation of the wartime measure. This is not a conflict time. The court had said that about 14 days should be spent to understand the legality of this order, and the plane should be turned around and brought back. But the lawyers informed the Washington district judge that the planes had already taken off, and therefore the matter was not sub judice anymore. So in that sense, legal drama, criminal drama really unfolding, and these prisoners, El Salvador leader has confirmed that these prisoners, these people have been put in the high security prison. In February this year, US and El Salvador had an agreement that American deportees, especially the criminals, could be housed in this high security prison of El Salvador, and the first step towards that has taken place. But the invocation of the wartime measure has led to civil rights, civil liberties groups questioning the move.
All right, Shubhendu, thank you so much for all those details.